This is Wes. Now, what we're doing is we're taking, y'all can't see it, the grinder for the wheat is right here. I ground some wheat flour out of my preps. That's it. And, well, I went out and harvested some hackberries off one of my trees and made me some yeast water. What we're going to do is we're going to carefully measure all the ingredients together into this pie plate thing. And we're going to make some bread. First, you put about that much of your freshly ground hard red wheat, and then I don't have any clue how to make bread, but we're going to put about yesty much vegetable oil in there. And then we're going to use this scary looking water to mix it all up. Like I said, what I know about making bread, I did wash my hands first, is that there's people that know how to do it. But I've got all this wheat stored in. I figure it's time for me to learn how to do this. Now, I know from making biscuits that you put that oil in there and you get it to where it's not real wet yet, and then you just crumble it all up to where it just, sort of wants to stick together, but doesn't. That's what you do biscuits in. That smells good, actually. Anyway, and then after you do all that, you've got the oil pretty even throughout your mix. Then you can get it wet. And some of them fancy channels, they use scales and measuring cups. Nope. Mostly because, well, I don't have any fancy scales. And then the event that I'm actually going to start making bread out of this wheat, I'm not going to use those scales. So I better be able to do it just like this. See, that's starting to stick together. I don't know how much talking I'm going to do. Mostly just got to mix this stuff up. I don't know how much of that particular water I should put in there. There should be yeast on the wheat berries if you want to know the honest gosh truth. And should be able to just add water to the mix and let it set for a couple of days and it'll make its own. But people get weird when you start talking about leaving food set on the counter for days on end. I meant to bring some water out here for smooth, forgot. You don't want to use cold water in any of this, and you don't want to use hot water. I do know that. All this stuff's been kept at room temperature. Just a little bit more of this. If I hadn't need to add any more water, I will get some. Like I say, I don't know how much is the right amount of yeast. I just know that you can harvest, thanks to YouTube, that you can harvest wild yeast. Been a little too much. Put a little too much water. This flour is really coarse, in case y'all are wondering. We're gonna see how it goes. I know one of the tricks to a good biscuit is you don't want a lot of people make their biscuit dough too dry. And then they want to know why their biscuit's hard. Well, it's because it didn't have any moisture in it. Same with this bread. It doesn't have any moisture in it. It's gonna be hard. Do this kneading stuff. And after I get this to a certain point, then I just gotta walk away. I don't think I get to put this in the oven till tomorrow. I know it's gotta puff up, and then you gotta squish it again, and then you gotta let it puff up again. Because you gotta, supposedly, you're supposed to knead it until it will stretch. Oh, it's starting to stretch. I think I got this a little. I had it a little too wet, now I got a little too dry. I need to know if this works, or if I need to get another grinder. I think we paid $75 for this grinder off of whatever. And if I'd have run them through there the flour through there a couple more times, it would have been finer. But we'll do it like this and see. Y'all bear with me, I gotta go get some water. Y'all didn't even notice I was gone. I put a little bit of water on so y'all weren't looking. I have the power to shut y'all completely out of whatever I'm doing. Just push a button and y'all can't see what's going on. It's my opposite button. I think the camera says record. It's kind of like an opposite button. Boy, there's a fine line between too much water and not enough water. I think I'm gonna leave it because, like I say, this plier is really coarse. And those little pieces of wheat will absorb that water. It's a lot of work for one little loaf. But I guess if I was doing it in a real world environment, I would be doing more than just one little bit of loaf on. See if this bread's worth the effort. Yeah, I'm glad I decided to leave that. Yeah. Okay. Now, from what I understand, I've got to leave that sit there for a while. I am going to stop the camera and start it again because this thing will record in 30-minute increments. The camera will. So we can see if we can get us whatever. It's got to rise a little bit, and then I got to beat it up again and then let it rise and bake it. Hold still. I'm going to start y'all over. Alright, there y'all go. I'll come back in here and check on y'all in a minute. Y'all steal my bread. That's it, Rob. Don't you come over here and steal my bread. Did it do anything exciting? I didn't think it did anything. It's rolled up some. Yeah, hope it shows that let's have to get as big as it was. Now I stretched that and it's pulling apart, but I'm going to be optimistic now and assume that this is going to turn out. I'm going to go ahead and add, get this wet again, just that rather. In there thinking, like I said, it's the first time I've ever done this, and we're going to see if we can double the size of our loaf. We'll either have twice as much bread to eat or twice as much bread to throw away. One of the two. It does not smell unpleasant at all. Which it actually worried me because that yeast, back that out a little bit. Back out. That yeast stuff that I was making there actually been sitting around for a week. Add a little bit of sugar to make sure that the yeast didn't die. I hope I did it right. Get this the consistency I want. Then we are going to cover it and let it set overnight. And then we will either bake it in the oven, which is most likely. I'm doing this on Friday, so I have a few options on either I can do it in the Dutch oven tomorrow, or I can just cook it in the oven. I'm really hoping this works because I've been buying yeast at the store, so you know that we would have it for making bread. But if I can make my own yeast from either the flour, and see, the thing is, if this, I'm going to save a little. What I'll do is I'll save a little ball of this like this, and I will literally just double this in size and put it in a jar. And then in theory, the next time I want to make bread, I just get it wet, put this little wad in there, mix it all up, let it set, and then the next day I can bake another loaf of bread. And you know, if I'm making bread every day, oh, that's getting sticky as geese. It's all get out now. So that's the one old boy I was checking stuff on. He said that that's when you know it's getting ready, as it starts sticking to you. Yeah, see there, it's stretching. Well, wanting to come apart. Okay. We shall cover this very carefully with that paper plate. I'll probably go get a towel or something, put over it. And we will check on it tomorrow. Well, there it is. It's doubled or better in size. Doubled or tripled or whatever. It's been 27 hours. And it didn't rise much overnight because I left it out here and it was like 52 degrees. Got inside, got it up to around 90, put it in an area where I could keep the temperature about 90 degrees. And then it rose, and here it is. We're going to put it in the oven now and bake it and see what happens. Find out what happens. Oh, it's hard as rock. Didn't put any oil in this either. A minute we'll get off the pan. It's just as raw as it gets, people. Oh, looks like bread. Well, maybe just a camera here, we'll try it. We'll try it together. Smells good. That's not bad. I mean, you're not gonna like catch people asking for it at the cafe, but this is trial one. It smells good. Sorry, actually the flavor's good. Just don't think it rose enough. And that, I think, is all going to go back to the important step that I missed, where it said to keep it in 80, 90 degree temperature so that it would rise. And I meant to take it in last night, but I didn't. I'd eat this all day long with honey and butter on it. Find out tomorrow if I don't make another video. Don't give himself food poisoning. It smells good though. If it had cinnamon and sugar in it, it'd smell like a spice cake. That's what it smells like, is cake. No. I'm actually kind of happy with this. Still up? Nada. Seriously.